I don't want. Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week Annie chose Runaway Jury from 2003, which is number 5,376 on the Franken list. I will never stop saying that. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us, as always, nothing from Runaway Jury in your collection.
No.
Do you have the DVD at least?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you watch it before?
When it's my turn, we'll.
All right. Mark Wotitz Gardner has a little picture up, so I guess he likes this one. And no cringer, just Goldfuck. Where's the cringer?
He's not with me.
Sleeping.
Yeah. Hi, honey.
Hi,
What's
Hello,
up?
Laura.
everybody. Not much. Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year.
Here.
And Annie King in the kitchen where she belongs. When's the next trip, Anne?
The end of the month, Paris.
Oh, nice. All right, so Annie said she's going to Paris.
Yeah.
In January, it's going to be cold. All right.
Yes.
Why Runaway Jury?
Well, I was a big Grisham fan, and also I love John Cusack, and this is just my type of movie where, like, you find out at the end what everything was about. So, and
All right. So this is the basic plot. After a workplace shooting in New Orleans, a trial against a gun manufacturer pits Dustin Hoffman against the shady jury consultant Gene Hackman, who uses illegal means to stack the jury with people sympathetic to his defense. But when juror John Cusack and his girlfriend Rachel Weisz reveal their ability to sway the jury into delivering any verdict they want, a high stakes cat and mouse game begins. Yes, this is based on the John Grisham novel. He's always good for some fun legal shenanigans, for sure. And I took some notes when I was watching it. I had never seen this movie before. I guess I had heard of it, but I'd never seen it. So, and Dylan McDermott is up first, and I like Dylan McDermott, and I went, oops, I liked Dylan McDermott. Like, whoo,
There's a reason he was nowhere in the cast list at first. Way down.
that's funny. And Jeremy Piven, such a slime ball. Was this before he was a slime ball?
He's always been a slime ball.
Oh, okay. And of course, Dustin Hoffman's character has to have the vintage car. Talk about your cliches. And but it was fun watching the jury selection. I like I don't know who the director was, but I liked what they did. The kind of cutting and cutting and cutting. But the thing that was really fun was that this is 2003, and in the ensuing 21 years, we've gotten to know a lot of those actors as character actors. So I was like, oh my God, that's that guy. Oh, that's that guy. So
20,
they got
22 years.
22 years. They got a few jobs after this movie, which
Yeah,
is always fun
I
to see.
recognized pretty much everyone in that jury.
Yeah.
Like you said, I know that person. I don't know the
Yeah,
names.
yeah. And so very nicely edited section. And the funny thing was, for me at least, that Gene Hackman, everybody knows what he does for a living. So why would he be in the courtroom like tipping his hand? Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, because Jeremy Piven knew who he was. So I'm like, I don't know that he should be in
I
the
guess
room.
he's probably a legal consultant.
Yeah, but when you see him, you'd be like, uh-oh, I would think, knowing
Yeah.
who he is. Okay. I thought this was a great line when he said, trials are too important to be left up to juries. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Juror 9 was a nice twist. I don't know what that means.
Why was
Anybody?
it a nice twist?
I don't know. Juror 9. Juror number 9.
he's
Something
jury
happened to
number
juror
9.
number 9? All
Where?
right. I don't know. And how cute that Dustin Hoffman thought he was doing a New Orleans accent.
Oh my God.
He sounded like Dorothy Michaels from Tootsie to me. And then I love that he got the better lunch. That was fun. I mean, of course it would never happen, but seriously. And then the movie started careening out of control for me. the attempted suicide, torching the apartment. Ugh, so much melodrama. And then Jeremy Piven says about the arson that that's the guy who did the arson. And Dustin Hoffman's like, "How do you know that?" I said, "Because I was there." And then Dustin Hoffman went like this. I'm like, "That's acting." Crack me up. All right. So, as Joel pointed out earlier today, Gene Hackman made one more movie after this movie, and he really should have ended not even with this one, but with the one before this one, the Royal
Well, that
Tenenbaums.
if he was going to end somewhere,
This would have been a
would have
better
been
option
better than
than Welcome to Mooseport for sure. But I think maybe he did Welcome to Mooseport because he was thinking, like Robert De Niro had that renaissance with the whole Meet the Fockers thing. So he thought maybe this would be his little renaissance, but didn't work out that way. Okay, so did I always think in the legal aspect of it, did it ever happen where the gun company was held liable for a shooting?
I don't recall the gun companies ever being
don't think
on
so.
trial.
Yeah, so this is all a big fantasy.
Yeah, I'm sure you read in trivia that in the book, Annie knows it was against the tobacco companies. But
Oh,
I forgot why they had to change it. There was a movie that had just come out,
right. The Insider had just come out,
The
and
Insider, right?
so they wanted to get away from
the
doing the same
tobacco.
thing.
Ah,
Came up with this. So
so they just made shit up.
yeah,
Okay. 3 stars for me. It's a great cast, and the plot is very fun, exploring the ethical gray areas of jury manipulation. I'm sure it goes on, and corporate influences. But the twists and turns for me sometimes strained credibility. And every juror has a skeleton in their closet. I mean, it was a bit much. And some plot points were a little contrived, and the ending was way too wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow for me. But I didn't mind it. I give it 3 stars. So Mark, you have a good review up there. So had you seen this before?
You don't know that. I could be fooling you,
Don't be
but I'm
playing with
not.
me.
But I'm not.
Had you seen it before?
I'm gonna go to my notes to answer your question. I'm pretty sure I saw this before because I knew Cusack and Weitz were working together, and I knew it was against guns, but I knew that they were against the gun company, and I thought they lost their daughter to gun violence. There was the sister or whatever it was. So I had that in my head, and I'm pretty sure I saw this, but I remembered nothing else. I not one line. I didn't remember any. I didn't remember Dustin Hoffman. I didn't
So
remember
you had a
nothing.
little Amy Goldmanisms.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I probably did watch it when it first came out on video, so about 20 years ago. Um, Having said that, no, hold on. My nits. I'll start with that. Him getting the judge to treat the jurors to lunch would
Good
never happen in a
Lord.
million years. That was just
Yeah,
complete
yeah.
BS.
But
Uh,
I mean, it really did set up the fact that he could manipulate things.
I get it. I know what they were going for. I still call
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah,
And
Uh,
bullshit for
that was
sure.
in my notice killing me. There's just the
Yeah,
fact that he left the courtroom, the
yeah, and he
courthouse.
was able to sweet talk a
yeah,
judge.
and wouldn't
No,
and wouldn't the judge have to disqualify himself for being in such proximity to the jury? Some shit
yeah,
like that.
I would think
Maybe.
so. And I hope everyone got this, but Lydia Dietz, one of the goth juror who's the alternate. Does everybody remember it? What's that a nod to? Joel, don't answer. What's that a nod to?
I
oh,
read about it in trivia.
Okay.
No
So yeah,
idea
the
what is it.
Beetlejuice Winona Ryder. It was a little weird. And I
And her
don't get me
name
wrong.
was Lydia, but was it Lydia Dietzen?
yes, just spelled
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
Okay,
With the Z
and
and
and she
Beetlejuice.
even had the whole goth thing going
Yeah, exactly. So it was
on.
an obvious nod to it, which I normally would have appreciated, but in a dramatic
Yeah,
courtroom movie, it made
Yeah,
no
who
sense.
decided on that? I want to
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Someone was a fan, I guess. Um,
Maybe it
uh,
was the actress. She was like, "Oh, could I do a whole?"
Could be.
Having said that, I thought it was very good for a courtroom drama, which normally is not my go-to. I guess I'm going to call it a spy element of the blackmailing elevated it for me. It was a little bit more than just a courtroom drama because that can be very boring. So I liked all the other elements and even the ransacking of the apartment and it gave it an element of danger and intrigue, and I like
Yeah,
that, even if it was a little bit unbelievable. Um,
a little
it's
bit.
also a great cast, and it was fun to see Hackman and Hoffman going at it. I give it a solid 3 stars as well.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Write that down. Yeah, and also Rachel had that nice moment after she did that whole scene with Gene Hackman and she got off the tram. She was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
She's not, yeah, she's just a regular
Yeah, she's
person.
like, "I can't believe I just did that."
Yeah,
So
that
that
was
was,
great.
yeah, that was great.
So the last thing I'll say, even though I didn't write it down, is I did think it was complete bullshit that they could just get that $15 million or whatever it was and just walk away with Hackman not going for their throats. He's a dangerous guy. He would have gone after them.
Yeah,
He would have been like, "Oh, you got me." Huh.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why he retired.
that's why. Hi, Joel. You'd seen it before? No,
I,
you
I
don't own
also
it.
I don't own it. I think I also had an Amy Goldman moment. Because I said to Natasha, I said, all right, it came out in 2003. We would have seen that at some point. It's got a cast, but I don't remember any of it. I know we must have seen it because of the cast. And I remember little tiny things here and there, but it's for me, John Grisham is a lot like Robert Ludlum. It's their airport books that you check your brain at the door and you just plow through them and move on. And for the most part, they're entertaining but forgettable. That's kind of how I felt about this. It's got a high caliber cast, all doing as good as they can with the material they've got. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
it's fun and entertaining, but there's a little too much of the, oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Um, so the thing that dawned on me while I was watching it though is that John Grisham was very big in the 90s and into the early 2000s, and he's written like a bazillion other books since then, but none of them have been made into movies. This was the last of his legal thrillers that ever got made into a movie, and the only other book of his that got made into a movie after this was Christmas with the Cranks. So,
Ah,
That
I'm
was
kind of
him.
like,
Did he
what
did he
happened there?
did he do Bonfire of the Vanities and The Rainmaker?
No,
no,
Bonfire of the Vanities. What are you, insane? That's not John Grisham.
I don't know. I'm asking. I
no.
remember not liking either of those.
He
No, but he did do The Firm
The Client.
client,
and
Oh,
Pelican Brief.
Pelican
Uh,
Brief,
The
Time
Firm
to
is
yeah.
Kill.
great. Firm is a
So
solid,
I
solid
think,
movie.
do you think, Joel, maybe that Runaway Jury just wasn't a big hit and they were like, that's enough.
I don't know. And I mean, it seemed to do well enough, but my
Yeah.
other issue is I had just seen Juror number two a couple of days before this.
Same.
And I was like, that's a really interesting, well-made film. It had a couple of bullshitty moments too,
Oh my God.
but I was like, I could go with those over these. So I'm going to give it a solid 2.75. It was entertaining. It's worth watching if you've never seen it or you remember never having seen it. Um,
Or if you forgot it.
or if you got it, but it's not something I would ever watch again unless in 20 years somebody's like, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" I don't think so. Maybe I should.
What did you say, Joel? It was interesting but forgettable. What?
Yeah, entertaining but forgettable.
Entertaining but forgettable.
Like me.
Speaking of entertaining but forgettable, Amy Goldman.
Annie, did you see Juror number 2 yet?
No.
Oh, it's on
Obviously,
something.
right up your
On
alley if you
Max.
like
Yeah.
legal thrillers.
Max. It's really good. But
Okay. All right.
very much like,
But
oh
I want to go
God,
back to what the hell
nobody.
happened with Juror 9.
Why do you keep saying that? What are you talking about
Because
Juror 9?
when they were selecting, I guess, and there was a nice twist, did Juror 9 get eliminated for some
Wasn't
reason?
John Cusack juror
John
number?
Cusack is Juror
Yeah,
number
Yeah.
9.
Oh,
They
okay.
referred to a few other people. That
Oh.
Juror number 3.
Yeah. And one thing about that montage you mentioned earlier, Frank, sorry to interrupt with Amy's, that annoyed me actually.
What
Because
montage?
the montage
Of
of
picking people.
picking
Oh.
people for the jury, because by the time it was over, I was like, do they have like 40 jurors?
Same here.
I was like, they picked everybody but
Yes.
two
Yeah.
people.
They needed alternates.
Yeah, alternates for the alternates.
Yeah. No, I
Felt like they
absolutely
picked
thought that.
everybody who walked in the room.
Yeah. I actually watched this movie twice. I watched it like right after we reviewed something like 3 weeks ago. But I decided to rewatch it because, I forget everything. And so the second time I watched, I'm like, I'm gonna start counting how many jurors they picked. It was very strange.
How
Um,
many did they pick?
they picked the right number, I think. I mean, it really wasn't as bad as you thought. They did not pick like 40 jurors. It
Oh,
just
but it felt that way.
but
There was
they just
definitely one juror that they did not pick.
yeah, right. Uh, when they received the note saying juries can't be bought, and the bailiff or security guard or whatever, they were standing in the hallway. He was standing with that woman, with the security lady, and she said, "Oh," he asked her, "Who handed that note?" You remember the note that was handed to both sides, and she said, "Oh, she had blonde hair, like pretty blonde hair, like that woman on television." I'm like, "Oh my God, well, that's just awful writing to me. Nobody would say shit like that," and that's such a writing cliche type thing. And she put kind of ended with television, like as he's walking away. And the only other thing I wrote was the whole thought of taking pictures and audio included video, all these close-ups of people who just got jury summonses to me was
Yeah.
ridiculous. That was this. I was like, this movie is horrible right from the beginning. I thought that was horrible. And there were moments, not like in juror number two, Annie. It was unbearable. But I thought there were a few moments, not as bad, where there were jurors who just wouldn't act the way they were acting. And juror number two was as someone who's been on an attempted murder case, you take that shit very seriously. You really do. And nobody would be like, "Oh, I need to leave. Let's just say guilty." But I think I'm mixing up the two movies right now.
I kept falling asleep when I was on a jury.
Really? Oh God, we were all so
Like,
interested.
I
And
did
I
grand
don't
jury for 10 months.
grand jury, I'm terrified.
Wait, grand
That's
jury's only
horrible.
for like 4 weeks, I think.
until you get assigned.
You keep
No,
going back and
that's
back,
not the
don't
way it
you?
works. Grand jury,
No,
you
no,
only
no. So it depends. In Brooklyn, it's once a week for like 12 months, 18 months, once a
Wow.
week. In
in the
Queens, you have to do it for 4 weeks straight.
in the Bronx was the same way. I was in the Bronx. I was on it during 9/11. We got evacuated. It was crazy. But
Wow.
yeah, it was 4 days a week for 4 weeks. So you got Fridays off.
Wow.
And you
Now
do
I
And
get
like
how
why.
does
you
And
do
our
like 30
last
cases a
fan
day.
has now tuned out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
and your
I
And
job
this
just
one
lets you
time,
go 4 days a week for that's craziness.
well, I remember
All
we
right.
had somebody at Stewart who was on it, and she had to take her laptop and work every day because she was not really doing
To try
anything.
and do stuff. All right, Aim, what are you done?
Um,
You didn't really like it, but you watched it twice?
yeah, I didn't hate it because like Annie, I really do, and I should watch more. Because every time I watch one, I think I really like this kind of movie. I really like jury movies because I love jury duty. I'm the one screaming, "Oh my God, when am I going to be picked again?" I love jury duty.
Yeah, I feel
So
the same way.
Did you see
not
the
only
TV
because
series?
what?
Did you see the TV series Jury Duty?
Yes,
wow.
yes. Oh my God, I loved it. If you haven't seen it, folks, you have to watch it. It's brilliant.
It
Oh my
was
God.
great. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Annie, get cracking. It's fabulous. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Loved the cast, everything, blah blah blah. It was just so much ridiculousness. The whole setup in that store with the cameras was asinine. But I'll give it a solid. I was wavering, and I'm gonna go with Joel and do 275.
Oh, another thing I thought of that annoyed me about the movie. That whole scene in the voodoo shop with Rachel Weisz and why is it there? Why is it part of the movie? It's not there because it's part of the movie. It's there for us to throw us off the track.
Absolutely,
That's crappy, lazy writing.
absolutely.
You
And
need red. You need
her walking through the mall, staring at him. She looked like she was one of the guys following him.
Again,
Mhm.
that's for our benefit, not for the plot.
Yeah.
Right.
you need red herrings.
Yes,
Sure.
but there are better ways of doing red herrings, and
Watch Clue.
yeah, exactly. Communism is just a red
The
herring.
red herring. There goes
All
our
right,
loyal
Annie.
viewer.
So
Well,
I assume
no,
you've seen this.
but speaking of that, when I watched it the second time, knowing what I knew about his character now, I did watch to see his reaction to getting the jury duty. And had he been alone and been like, "Oh, fuck," but he really wasn't. He was like, "Oh, I got jury duty." Just the way he said it could definitely play either way once you know
Oh,
it.
so
So
maybe
that
that
was
was the
interesting.
nice twist I was thinking. The hair, I'm thinking he doesn't even want to be on jury duty, and then oh my God, no, he definitely wants to be.
Yes, yes. So you could see it in his acting that
Yeah.
you could go either way with the way he said it. That was
So that was my nice twist, I think. that he
Sure.
really wanted to be on the jury.
Yeah.
All right, Annie. So you've seen this before, obviously,
Yeah, lots of
since you
time.
recommended it. Remote Dropper?
Not a remote dropper. Danny's like, I don't think I ever watched it from the beginning because we're always catching it, midway and stuff. But I do love the John Grisham earlier movies, The Firm and Pelican
And you
Brief.
read did you read the book?
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
a big John Grisham reader when he first started and stuff. So
And
it
he
was
was a
either,
lawyer, right? He
Yeah.
was a lawyer?
yeah, I've read some of his later stuff, which I didn't love as much. It wasn't as interesting, but it was either this or 12 Angry Men, which I might have should have gone with, maybe.
I never saw that one.
He didn't
Oh,
write 12
Somebody
Angry
slap
Men.
him.
Yeah.
I'll put that on my list.
Yeah.
He didn't write 12 Angry Men.
No, he didn't.
No, but
The greatest
Courtroom.
Courtroom. Yeah, that is the greatest courtroom
court
drama.
drama ever.
Period.
I've heard
Period.
that.
End. Period. End of story.
Yeah, I'll put that on my list for next year. But
We just started this year.
yeah, well, and it had come up like maybe a month or 6 weeks ago, and Danny recorded it. So I said,
But-
"Oh, let me put that on my list
Oh,
so we can
funny.
watch it and get rid
12
of
Angry
it."
Men? 12 Angry Men.
Oh, this
No,
one.
the
Oh, this
Runaway
one.
Jury.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I
So
see. So that's how it ended up on the list.
yes, and
Okay.
that's why I asked you to do it like early in the year.
Because you had it's
I was
clogging
thinking,
up.
Just watched it. Yeah.
It's clogging up your DVR.
oh, that's
Yes.
funny.
So yeah,
That's funny.
but yeah, Danny like looked through the list, and I think he has like Singing in the Rain recorded and stuff like that. But that's not till much later, right?
I think so.
That's on Max, so you don't need to
Um,
keep it.
Yeah. So
He says
All
that
right.
now.
So what did you think of Runaway Jury?
yeah, I enjoy it. It's like, my kind of film where like things are kind of nebulous and and it all works out at the end. Although like I thought that scene with her in the apartment and the guy who comes to like kill her was just,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the kind of intrigue that Mark enjoys.
No, as a guy who likes fighting, I hate unrealistic fighting. And when you throw someone into a wall and when you're much bigger, or you stab somebody or whatever it is, that you don't just keep fighting. I hate when people get punched in the face 5 times in a row and then jump up like Hulk Hogan. Like nothing happened.
Yes. I mean, I do like, the intrigue and the little things that he does, like the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff, and how just like one little word kind of, changes things. And like I said, I'm a big John Cusack fan, and maybe next year I'll only do John Cusack movies.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, he was very good in this, and he wasn't. He was at a good age. He didn't look all old and puffy and stuff.
Yeah.
Gross
Was
Point
nice.
Blank.
Yes. I would like to see that too. I have not
Okay.
seen that one. So
High Fidelity.
that I've seen. I gave you Serendipity last
I
year.
thought we were just naming John Cusack movies.
Oh,
Yeah, say anything.
say anything. Yeah. That's got to come up soon.
Yeah, Say Anything was
A
very
sure thing.
huge one.
That's the one movie I've never seen. Sure thing. Please put that one on because I want to see that.
I think we're at negative viewers right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even
When
watching
everybody
at
has
this
a
point.
dinner.
Turn you off.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I would give it 3.25 because I will stop and watch it. So
Oh,
Makes sense.
all right. I didn't hate it.
I don't think any of us hated it.
Yeah, no, it was perfectly fine. All right. So any last thoughts? Anybody? No, okay. Runaway Jury is on Paramount Plus, as a lot of the movies we're watching this year. If you subscribe to that service, obviously, it's $3.59 on Prime. Or borrow it from your local library. I mean, you really should. I mean, it's free. All right, next week we begin the Godfather saga. And we're going to start right at the beginning with The Godfather, 1972. And it's the #1 movie on the Franken list. That's why we're watching it. And it is on Paramount Plus as well. All right. Frank Gaffney, watch The Godfather with us.
And
Next-
also with the you.
Hey.